Don't forget to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Turn on that notification bell so you know when videos drop. Thanks for watching.
Today, we're going to show you the actual 19.5-minute footage from our 112-mile-an-hour storm on April 25th, 2024. And right behind us is the part of the walnut tree you can see way up on the top. It was twisted off and blown to the southeast. Mrs. Peacock, what do you think?
Yeah, it's rather interesting. This video I find really fascinating because it shows the storm as we experienced it. So it should be interesting to us. I don't know if you'll like it. But
you might get bored because it's 19.5 minutes, but it's consecutively. Our game cameras are used to watch out for bobcats and the coyotes and occasionally a two-legged creature that comes on the property unexpected. But this time it captured this storm and it was crazy being in the house. We have trees facing to the southeast. We got trees facing to the northeast. And Mrs. Peacock, the weather service says it was just a normal storm. They said the winds were 1,000 feet above the ground at maybe 100 miles an hour. They failed to realize that we're 1,300 feet above the ground. So that means the storm came here. Epley Airfield, which is about 25 miles south of us, was hit with 90 miles an hour winds. Now, for some reason, the National Weather Service did not even pay attention to this. They were kind of preoccupied with the flooding, which is really devastating here. We're never going to flood in where we are. We have no way to flood here, but they just, for some reason, did not pay attention to this windstorm. They think it's just a normal windstorm. Oh, it's going here, it's going there, but we lived through it. We lived through another tornado, didn't we, Mrs. Peacock?
yes, we did. This one was interesting because we were watching television and the local news would come in and out. So we decided to go to this internet place for weather. We watched the person follow this storm and he kept looking up to the storm, which is to our north. And he said, there's tornadoes in there. He said, I can see them. They're there. He says, I know they're there. He said, I don't understand why the weather service isn't putting out a warning. So we thought that was interesting. So we were very concerned and we watched. So we were in the house watching. I was watching from the kitchen and he was going back and forth. And there were times you'd think, oh, storm's letting up, and then go whoosh again. And I backed up to the center of the room because it was really, really strong winds. So it's kind of interesting, the difference of opinions.
Well, yeah, and we lived through a EF2 tornado, and we know what that's like. And I am unofficially clarifying this as an EF1 tornado, 112 miles an hour. I don't care what the weather service says. They weren't here. They didn't check the debris field on our farm. We did. We went all around the farm yesterday, days after, to see where the trees were leaning. And if it was a straight line wind, it would be all in one direction. Some of the debris was heading to the southeast. Some of the debris was heading to the northeast. So if it was a straight line wind coming straight through, that would be different. I'm kind of guessing it could have been like mini little tornadoes, not big, but it was enough to knock this walnut tree way on the top there. It got completely devastated and blew this probably about 100 yards from where it stands. So call it what you want, National Weather Service. The unofficial National Weather Service of the Peacock Farm says it's an EF1 tornado with 112 mile an hour winds, and that's the way it is. So Mrs. Peacock, are we missing anything?
Yeah, I'm missing my bird feeder. I went out to feed the birds next day and it's like, where is my bird feeder? And in a day or so, you found the bird feeder way, probably 100 feet away from the tree in the fence row.
And it goes in the same direction as these limbs were pushed. Now, the big limbs in front of the house were facing the opposite direction. So, we know how tornadoes work. When we had our 2014 tornado, we had 10 on the roof going one way and the other way within the same roof. Mrs. Peacock, I think we should show everybody that 19.5-minute long video. You may get bored, you may want to fast forward it, but if you're a weather person like we are, and since we lived through it all, you may want to watch it, how the winds come and go. I'm reminded that about at 10:08 was some real big pushes, and about 10:13 were some big pushes. On the below of the video has the date, the time, and the temperature, so you can see how that works. So, Mrs. Peacock, let's show them the video.
I think we should.
You've just seen the actual 19.5-minute footage of what we classify unofficially as an EF1 tornado with 112 miles an hour wind. And right behind us is the tree that was pushed to the opposite direction of the tree that we talked about in the beginning of the video. And Mrs. Peacock, this was crazy, wasn't it?
Oh yes, this was crazy. I think the video is very, very fascinating. And the tree that the camera was on is right behind this camera.
Yeah, that camera is amazing. It's still working. It was pelleted by everything under the sun. We're pretty sure there was a lot of hail here, but as you can see in the video, sometimes you can't see the roadway or the lane. It was just nuts. I've never seen anything like that. Now, one thing I don't think I mentioned earlier was when we were hit in 2014 with our tornado, it was a short storm, maybe about 5 minutes. But this thing lasted 19.5 minutes. It was weird. There was nothing here at the beginning, and then when it was done, it was done. It was gone. It was just like that. But boy, those 19.5 minutes were very intense inside our house.
Yes, they sure were. And I found this film fascinating.
Mrs. Peacock's funny. She's watched and studied it, and she talked about watching in the film, and go back and check it again. If you watch in the background, watch the leaves moving. They're moving in a circular position. Now, I'm sorry, straight line winds push one way. They don't circle like that. So go back and study it. Check it out. Share it. Show the weather people. Show your amateur weather people. Show professionals. We're not a professional, but we're an expert about tornadoes. We've been through 2 on this farm, and we know what we're talking about, don't we, Mrs. Peacock?
Well, we've been through it, so if you've seen it, you've experienced it, you kind of learn things.
Yeah, and Mrs. Peacock was doing some research on how you could detect whether it was a tornado or straight line winds or whatever. And based on what you saw, it was pretty evident, wasn't it?
I would think, yes. Comparing this to 2014, it was just a smaller version with, well, except this time it damaged the house, but that's how it goes.
Well, yeah. Well, Mrs. Peacock, I think everybody got a chance to view it, and if they want to view it again, they can. But I guess that's it. So,
I'll see you later.
thanks for viewing.
Hey viewers, don't forget to make a donation. The link's below.
Order The Wacky World of Peafowl books at peafowl.com.